On your first month, did you sell 400 pieces that you sold in your first month already?
So I launched in December.
Yeah.
In January, I make about 550 sales. It peaked at 550 sales.
Hello, Renata. It's so nice to have you here. This is our very first podcast episode that we're doing for the Impact Stationery creators and interviewing some of our members and recent launches. So I have your product here with me, and I'm super excited to be speaking to you about the backstory and everything. So, hey, first.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so excited for this episode because I think it's going to be so interesting for people to get to know the faces behind, because everything we do is online, right? So it's so nice to get to know the people as well. And with that, I would love to get to know you as well. Could you tell us, how did you even have the idea of creating a stationery product? What did you do before? And
Yeah,
what
sure.
brought you here? Yes.
So I was actually an interior designer for 14 years. I reached a point where I think I needed a career break, and I just, I was burnt out at the office and things like that. So I took an unpaid leave, and then I thought to use that time to just like, what do I want to do, and see where it takes me. So I end up resigning, and then I end up actually helping my husband with his business because he has a coaching business, an online coaching business. So I was helping him for about 2 years. And then he said that like, are you sure you want to keep helping me? You're going to lose your identity. Maybe you can, start something yourself. So I started looking on at different things, and he helped me look at different things online. And I actually started an Etsy business selling digital products, selling budget spreadsheets. So that's how I started. And it went really well for about over 1 year. I had that Etsy business. And then I just wanted to diversify my business because I always believe in multiple income streams, because as an entrepreneur, you do feel a bit vulnerable if like, what happened to like, if this one business doesn't work anymore. So I wanted to diversify my income. And then I landed at Evelyn Wise podcast where she interviewed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how I first heard about you. And then I actually didn't think, I really want to start stationery business. I was listening to that interview, and I can really relate to it. And I feel like I always love stationery products. Like I use planners. I don't use journals as much. I did have a gratitude journal in the past. It didn't really work, but I think it was probably not the right journal or something. But I love going to like stationery shop. Like it's always been a passion of mine, but never really think of creating my own stationery products. But when I look at that interview, I started looking into your course, and I was like, I think I can do this. And it's kind of aligned with what I'm already doing in Etsy, because I'm already selling kind of digital planners, right? It's like most of my product is budget planners, but I also have things like life planners. So it's kind of aligned. And then instead of like it being digital, this is like the physical planners. So I thought like, I'll give it a go. I bought your course, and then I got really into it. I just really love it. And I think like I'm the kind of person, when I'm really into something, like I know when I don't like something, I would try. For example, I used to, when I was trying things out, I was, maybe I can be a YouTuber, but no, I couldn't because I really don't like recording and things like that. So, but when I started going through your course more and more, I'm like, I really love this, because like you're really creating like a product, like, because I'm a creative person. So yeah, that's how I got into a stationery business and landed in your course.
Yes. And now this is the product. How would you describe the journey from joining back last year to then having the product actually available to the public?
When I look back, it's so crazy to think that this is February 2025. And I remember I was in this holiday. Me and my husband, we went on a cruise holiday in April. And I said, I really want to diversify my income, but I don't know what it is. And then by May, I joined your course. And then look at it now. Like something is it's so crazy if you think about it. Like it wasn't even an idea the same time last year. So the journey is like, to be honest, in the beginning was quite difficult because physical product is so different with digital products. So I have to learn everything like from scratch, right? Well, I had to do the research. I literally follow your course. Like I've always been a really good student. I like studying and then like following exactly what everything in the module. And then I've got an idea. I got a few ideas, but some of them didn't pan out to be good ones after the validation. Once I know exactly that this is what I'm gonna do, then the rest is history. Just deep dive in.
This is such an important point because validation is really important, because there's sometimes ideas where we feel like this is great, and then we see, oh, but no one is searching for, no one wants it.
Yeah, absolutely right. A validation is very important, and you have all of the steps to like validate all the ideas, and then you really have to think if it's one of the steps fail, the validation, you really have to ask yourself, do you want to take the risk to still launch it and go with it? Because it's a lot of work to launch something. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. And to get it to people. Actually, this is a good point where we could look into, because you are selling this on Amazon, right? Because everyone is choosing something different. What is your experience with selling on Amazon?
It's purely like 99% or 900% is like the traffic in Amazon. And it's obviously amazing. And I'm not new to like the power of e-commerce platform and the same with Etsy, but Amazon is like bigger, right? You have way bigger audience. You can't even compare. And that's exactly why I want to diversify. I want to try Amazon, because like they do all the marketing for you. Like back in the days before all of this, you have to like spend so much time in social media marketing and things like that. Well, before social media, I don't even know how you market. But yeah, that side in a way is taken care of. So you can just focus on creating a product and do the research. And if you do it right, then it will sell. Yeah.
Because even I think on your first month, did you sell 400? Was it 400 pieces that you sold in your first month already?
So I launched in December. In January, I make about 550 sales. It peaked at 550 sales. It's that's the peak. But February has gone down, and now I'm like, my stock is really low. So I'm like, I can't really do much other than waiting for the inventory.
For new inventory. Yes, and I think this really shows the power of Amazon, because doing this with your own website, it's very, 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 very unlikely, unless you're like really good at marketing and you have like a very loyal audience that is for the same topic that you're trying to, create a physical product. It's hard to, have like weeks after you launch then it's the second month being like a 550 sales month. That
it just wouldn't happen without a platform like that, unless you're an influencer that's like already have like an audience. Yeah.
And that's what I love so much about, and that's why I'm so like, I focus so much on Amazon, because it's just so powerful, and I know that the products that I've been able to sell, that would have never been possible without it. Choosing a place where the people are at, and I keep thinking about like, if you created a business like 20, 30, 40 years ago, you would try to be somewhere where lots of people walk by, right? They can go inside your shop and they find you.
Yeah.
That's what Amazon is. It's like a place, it's like a shopping center almost. Lots of people are coming and looking for things, and then they can find you. It's just like
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. It's almost like a supermarket or department store, but digitally. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, I'm instead of having your own clothing store on the street where you just like people don't know your brand, if you're in the department store, and you have to have like people passing that traffic to like go to your store. This one is like a department store. When people actually go there with the buying intent, and that is so powerful. When you sell your product in a platform or a place where there's audience with buying intent, they're ready with their cart to buy something.
yeah,
It's very powerful. It's no comparison to like if you have your own website, then you have to have advertising via Facebook, via Pinterest, via all of this, and that's a cold audience that they don't probably. And when they see your ads, they might, most of the time they don't want to buy something, right? Like, and it has to be so catchy, and it has to, like, just you have to work so much harder for every single sale. Yeah.
yes. Yes, and I think it requires such evolved marketing skills to be able to do that very well because, as you said, these are not people that intend to buy something. They sometimes see an ad and like you have to convince them like, hey, this is a great time to buy this now.
Now, yeah, yes.
And that takes quite a bit of a skill. I think there's benefit in doing that as well. But seeing Amazon as a stepping stone and like a place to get this going, like the fire burning, and then from there grow and learn how to do all the other things or hire then the right people to do these things can definitely benefit.
And then you can also treat Amazon as a test as well, that something is working. And then, yes, you're right. Like it's not, and I'm a strong believer in diversifying your income. So eventually I really want to have my own website and then be able to like not be reliant on Amazon, right? That's like the main goal. But then you can see it as a test, like which products really popular in Amazon, and that's something that you probably want to spend a lot of advertising when you have your own website. Yeah, with certain products.
I think that's a very good point because you can see what your winners are, and often you can also see what your winning colors are. But if you have like different colors for your product, so for your product you have 3 colors. Did you notice that you already have like a very clear winner for?
Yes.
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 Was
yes,
it
the
expected?
beige, which is the one that you were holding, actually very popular.
Yeah.
And you never can guess. You never can guess prior what's the most popular. And I'm glad I went with 3 colors because I was so close to going with 2 colors because it's obviously cheaper. But yeah, I'm glad I did 3. But the beige is at the moment I only have less than, I think it's about 130 left. Whereas with the, yeah, I know I'm freaking out a little bit, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
But the black has over 200 something still, for example. Yeah.
Interesting.
I remember the pink is also popular, but not as popular as the beige.
Yeah. I mean, it's very aesthetically pleasing. I think you've done a beautiful job as well. If you look at the cover, it's like a minimalistic design. I really loved it. Like when I saw it, I knew that I was going to get one as well. And I think you've done like also the way you've chosen the font. I think it looks really pretty because you have designed it yourself, right? This one.
Yes. I have like sometimes being a designer, and the same with like interior design. I think once you have a vision, I think this is the problem, this is the solution. I don't know what the solution gonna be, but once you start the design process and then once you see it in your head, I see everything. I know the type of font. I just don't know what it's called, but I know. And then, of course, it's a lot of research, a lot of Pinterest, and those kind of things. Yeah, thank you. I really like it too, and I think that the gold foil really make it different. Like with that debossed. I do love it, but I'm biased.
No, it really is beautiful, and you have the proof of the market. Right, like people are buying and people are liking it, so you know that this is something that people like. I would actually love to talk about how you thought about the interior because I thought that was very clever as well. Because you changed the layout, the way that you've changed. You made your unique selling point is the layout as well.
Is the layout. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because I thought like there is already, you know, the daily planner that designed for note takers like that, but they're either 1 page a day or 2 pages a day, right? And they're like very distinctive. With the 2 pages per day, the left hand side is all of the to-do list, the hourly and things like that, and the right hand side is notes, just purely notes, lines. They're very popular, but I thought like, what a waste if some days you don't have a lot of notes. You know what I mean? And then what if like you only have like you only use half of the pages? So I thought like I wanted to create something really flexible. And so that's how I came up. I think that's the unique selling point. There's a few unique selling points, but then that's the most unique because like in terms of the size, there's also not that many, I think.
Yeah, and it's really big. Here, I just want to show that here you can like also write notes, and it shows that it's worth looking at what's already available and then seeing if you find an issue. Like you found an issue with having a second page and then the waste, and you found a solution. And that is your unique layout that is creating a solution to what's already available. In essence, anytime when we create new products, that's what we're trying to do, right? Like we want to help people solve something that they want to do. So here they want to plan a day, and we just want to make it easier or better. So I thought that it was such a really cool way to do that, and in a simple way without overcomplicating it. Like, yeah, I really liked it.
Thank you. I think that's my motto and special power. And even when with previous business, not previous, still have the business with the Etsy.
I think
spreadsheet and that's my template. A lot of people said like, oh, it's very simple. So I think that's like, I like something simple, something that is not overwhelming, something that's versatile, that you can use for different purposes. So I think that's, I'm really glad that people recognize it. So I think that's, really appreciate that.
Would you like to share with us how you made the conclusions of the size? And you chose spiral. Can you tell us what was your plan behind it? What is your thinking or your decisions?
Sure. So spiral that's a personal choice. I am hardcore spiral. And I even have a notebook that I like. Well, I mean, I'm okay with it, but my mother-in-law gave it to me, and then I love it, but it's not spiral, right? I keep using it, but I just wish it's spiral, right? Like it's every time I bought something that is not spiral, I end up like, even though I use it because I don't want to waste things. It's just my personal preference, to the point that I don't understand why people like hardbound. But then I guess it's hard to explain, right? Because for me, I want to be able to flip it. I want to be able to like have it open at all times, like, and the spiral never bothers me to when I write on it. Like, I know some people find that it bothers them, but for me, it never bothers me. So that's definitely personal choice, to the point that I don't know if I want to do hardbound. I would do hardbound for an A5 maybe, because I do have like planned for to create an A5 daily planner, but but not for the big one. I can't even explain why I chose that, but I think like being able to flip it, being able to like have it open again.
I suppose with this big size, it also makes sense. It's so interesting because it's like this personal preference, right? Because I am a hardbound person, like through and through. And one of my products, I had so many requests of people wanting it to be in spiral. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And over the years, I've realized like there's really like almost like a 50-50 split between people preferring spiral or preferring hardbound.
Yes, yes.
Um,
You do
and
miss the audience of like if you really just do one. I get, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
yes, but there's one member, she started with hardbound and she created exactly the same product just with a spiral and doubled her business just with that.
That's
The
amazing. I
same
actually
product. Yeah.
I heard you mention that in one of the coaching calls, and I'm like, that is so smart. And that actually gives me so many ideas of scaling for horizontally. That's scaling
Yeah,
horizontally, isn't it? Yeah. So
exactly.
many ideas because yes, there's thing about spiral, but then I'm actually launching my second product and it's a spiral notepad, but then you can also make it without spiral and just glue it on top.
Yeah.
And that's another product or something like that. So it's like, they give me so many ideas as you can, with the same content, you don't have to do extra work. Like, and then, yeah, and then you double your income. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're different preferences and they're like very strong preference. Like we could hear your very strong preference for spiral, and I have a very strong preference
For
for
hardbound.
hardbound. And I will, for this size, I think it works very well. But for a smaller size, to me, it just hits my hand. Like I find
I
like
agree.
I
No,
can't.
I get it why
Yeah.
people prefer hardbound for the smaller size.
Well, while we are already at materials, how was it for you to manufacture these pieces? Because it's, in essence, the first time you are manufacturing or have manufactured a stationary product. How did you experience that piece? Was it as you expected, harder, easier? How was that?
You mean like the first time I received a sample, and
Well, the first
or
time
the
that you've manufactured basically a physical stationary product. So basically having a manufacturer, and then of course you get a sample first, and then
yeah, definitely a different process because I am familiar with working with samples and materials. Like for 14 years, I was an interior designer, so I actually do miss that part, like feeling fabrics and carpet and things like that, right? And colors and I do miss that part, and it is a bit challenging because I don't have anything here. Like I don't have the material swatches and things like that. And then I know the manufacturers uploaded a lot of videos of them, and then in your module as well, there's like some examples there that helps massively, obviously. But then it's hard because you can't really see the color, and then you don't know. I mean, you choose the color because mine is like printed, right? Because it's not fabric, so I don't know the process. I think with fabric you can print on the fabric as well.
Yeah.
So that is challenging for sure because
Yeah.
you're new into this and you don't know a lot of things in the same time. So I my motto was to try something that is simple, like something that is quite straightforward. So if you see my planner, it's like it's nothing fancy in terms of the hardcover. It's just a printed thing, yes, with deboss and foil. But even the foil gives me grief because Arkin had to choose. He had to, I don't know how many he had to choose the pink because like with this one, the pink, I want a certain pink for the font, and that was really hard to match. Then also the spiral, because before the spiral is different with your spiral because this one is shiny one, and it's actually more expensive, the pink, because without the shiny, without the shine, it looks completely different. It looks brown. And this one, a lot of people complimented in the review that it's matching and it looks really expensive and it looks beautiful. Everything just matched, and it's exactly what I wanted. But that was difficult because like it took a month to finalize the sample because Arkin didn't have the shiny spiral in stock for the sample. So that was an interesting process. And then I know just to allow more time.
Yes, I think this is something that lots of people are experiencing, especially if you come from the digital and online space. You used things to happen like right away. And in the manufacturing space, it does just take longer, especially if you want to create something that you really like, because you can speed things up, but then you might not have the product that you truly wanted. I often try to remind myself when I feel like I'm impatient, this needs to be faster, this needs to be faster. I remind myself, I'd rather have a product that I'm really happy with than now rushing this and then feeling like, oh my goodness, like I could have given
Yes.
it just a few more weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just a
But
few weeks. Yeah.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And it's definitely not unique to this process because like
Yeah.
in every design, especially interior design and construction, things get delayed all the time. And
Yeah.
it's even more, more stressful in that way. But then definitely with this one, like you need to allow more time. And then if I didn't wait for that shiny spiral, well, it just doesn't look right. And then it's the whole experience for the customer as well, right? So you have to, but you also have to know the boundaries between like not being too perfectionist, because then that would delay everything unnecessarily. So you have to know the difference between like, yes, this is definitely impacting the experience and I have to wait, I have no choice. Or this is just you being like, perfectionist and sometimes can hold you back.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be active procrastination.
Yes,
it's like
correct.
trying to make it perfect and then procrastinating on actually, because going for it can sometimes feel scary as well.
Yeah.
Yes, totally get that. I think with manufacturing or any type of product, where we are lucky is that even though we create custom products, we could create them in a matter of months, while often custom products in any other type of material, you could take years and with costs, like I've helped a client create a custom lamp. Almost 2 years, just getting samples is over $60,000.
Oh my God, that's actually a really good point because
Yeah.
like I'm not exposed to like that's what you call industrial design, product design, right? The development of it, other than paper products, it would take a long time. I mean, it makes sense that it takes a long time. And then we sometimes wait sample for a month and we complain, but then you're right. Like if you see the other side, hang on, like product design actually takes way longer.
Oh, yes. For any other type of product, it takes so much longer and it will cost so much more, right? Like we could get a sample for $150 while the other person has to pay like $60,000.
Oh, no, I know. And they don't even have like proof of concept, right? Because they haven't sold it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So there definitely is like a lot of advantages in creating printed products, and it's also one of the reasons I went into it, because my background was with other products, because I used to work for Amazon and I also sold beauty products and other products, and I realized, my goodness, creating an original product in any other space costs a fortune. It's very hard to do. In the printing space, simple, really simple.
Yeah, I think for you it really benefits you because you have seen it both sides, and so this looks really easy because the other side is like way harder. Yeah. That gives a perspective, like
Yeah, it gives a lot of perspective because you realize, my goodness. So you worked with one of the manufacturers that we recommend
correct.
as well, which I also think is quite a bit of an advantage, because if you've ever had to deal with like lots of different manufacturers that you've never dealt with, like sometimes just like
Oh, Laura, that's like, I'm not even in the industry, right? In terms of like, I never really deal with manufacturers, but I know how it works. But then when I was watching your, before I bought your course, and you said that, okay, we can use the manufacturer that you recommend. I know because one of my friends actually, she sells baby blankets and things, like she designed it here and then she has to find a manufacturer. And then from that, I know a little bit to find a manufacturer that works and that like good price, good quality and everything, that is 80% of the work. Design and research and everything is only 20% of it. I always know that. I always believe that. So I think I wouldn't even consider jumping in if your course is about teaching how to find the right manufacturer, because you know what I mean, because that would be means that you have to like learn from trial and error with each manufacturer to find out this manufacturer doesn't work. This, you know what I mean? Like it's, you need a good manufacturer, because that's literally 80%. If you look at my reviews, a lot of them say that the quality is excellent, and you don't get that straight away. You get that from experience of trying different manufacturers and having access to that. I always know that that's a no-brainer for me to jump in your.
I think it had to do as well a lot with how you've chosen the product. I think you've really thought this through, and like even little accessories, like you've added a ribbon. There's a little envelope here at the back as well, and you have a bookmark, which I don't have with me right now, but you also have a removable bookmark, which I think was very smart. So you really paid attention on how to positively impact the end user.
Yeah,
and that
you're right. So maybe it is 50-50 then. Not to discredit myself, but I just know that no matter how much research you do and how good your idea is, if the execution is not perfect, it impacts, like people get upset with the bad quality. But you're right, like even if the execution is perfect and it's the best quality, but then you haven't done your research and the product doesn't solve a problem, then that's also can be an issue. Yeah.
It just goes hand in hand. You need to do your research. You need to go create a product that actually solves what the person needs, and then you need to have it well created. Like quality needs to be there. It needs to look nice. It needs to be functional. And if you put everything together, it's like puzzle pieces, then you can have a successful product, as you've already experienced yourself. People are hungry for these types of products. Like we can really see people want it, they sit for it, they buy it.
Yeah, it's so true, because like I was listening to your YouTube the other day when you said like people have experience fatigue from digital products. That's why they're craving more physical product. And you can see why, because like as big as they now create iPhones, and Samsung or whatever, they create them quite big these days, right? The phone. But I find it like it's always like bothers me how small it is, because like it's so different with having like a big notebook where you have space, and that, how do you replace that? Like you can't replace that. Like even if you, I guess you can write things in laptop, but then again the physical effort of like writing things down, at the end of the day we are physical beings, we're not really digital beings. So I think that's why people craving more and more paper products these days.
I think so too. I feel sometimes the phone can feel like a black hole. Like there's so many apps in there and there's so many things, but I don't always recall where I put things. So I feel like digital overwhelm often, and I don't always want to do everything on my phone because I want to just have it on paper. I feel like I can think very clearly if I write it out. Like writing for me, or like even making plans or planning on paper, is thinking. It's like really processing my thoughts, and it helps me be more strategic and all of these things. And I think it's just a very human experience. This is why so many of us like to take notes physically with our hands as well. While yes, of course you can do it on your phone, but I think there are even studies that it doesn't retain, like your brain won't retain it as much if you type it instead of actually writing it. I don't know the process in the brain why that is, but that's at least what
I've heard that. Yes, I've heard that. Yeah, you remember things more when you write it. Yeah,
when you write them out. Well, thank you so much. So I heard you're already working on your next product. Are there any key lessons that you're taking for your next product with you? Something that you do differently?
As long as you do your research and then just follow everything in the module, everything in the course, it's and then you execute it, you know, correctly, it will sell. Most likely, it will sell. So yeah, I'm hoping, because like, oh yeah, the first product is a success, but then, you know, like you always, I know that with my Etsy shop, and sometimes it's about testing things. So
Yeah.
I'm a bit nervous with my second product. So let's see. I hope that it will sell as well as my first product. But yeah, I'm excited and nervous as well.
Yes. Oh, I get that. But I believe if you like, there's certain universal things that people tend to like the design that you've gone, like lots of like minimalistic designs are more universally liked. So you can reduce your risk quite a bit by that. Sometimes I find when something is too colorful and too like crazy patterns, then it's a lot hard. It's more of a test. It can be worth
Yeah.
it, but
Yes.
more of a test. Well, thank you so much for your time
Oh, you're
today.
most welcome. I'm gonna be able to share my journey. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I wish you a lot of success, of course, for your second product. I mean, we will talk to each other and see each other, but I want to officially I wish you a lot of luck as well. And yeah, thank you. And
Amazing.
soon.
Thank you, Laura. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Talk to you
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye.